What's going on, everyone? It's your boy Savvy, and welcome back to the Savvy Show. And today we got another cool SCP. Looks pretty dope and pretty interesting from the title of it. And this SCP is SCP-939 with many voices. Yes, that is the name of this SCP. It looks really interesting from the looks of the SCP and the name that it was given to it. So it's more than meets the eye to this SCP, and that's what I'm excited to react to. And I hope you guys are excited to see this reaction. And if you guys are, please remember, towards the end, middle, beginning, smash that like button. If you guys enjoy my reactions, it will mean the world, and it takes less than a second, and it's free. And also, if you're not already part of the family and you do enjoy my content, please remember to smash the sub button as well. It'll really help the channel grow. We're pretty small right now, so it'll mean the world. And also in the comment section below, let me know what you think about this SCP, and also some of your favorite ones that you guys have close to your heart that you want me to cover in a later date if I haven't already covered already, and I might just do that. So with that all out the way, let's get this show started. Alrighty, SCP-939 with many voices. Let's get it, guys and gals.
SCP personnel found A6 began acting increasingly unsettled, rapid and shallow breathing, aversion to light, and increased in body temperature. It began violently tearing at its skin.
Sorry. Is this the SCP? Wow, he really went through some transformation. This is the SCP we're talking about.
It displayed a considerable amount of distress upon realizing its skin was sloughing off, but appeared unable to stop until its head were detached from its body. Hello, everybody. I'm TheRubber. Today, we bring you a SCP Foundation Keter class object.
Figured it was a Keter class.
939. SCP-939, also known as with many voices, are endothermic pack-based predators. The skins of 939 are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red. Usually, our skins of 939, also known as with many voices, are endothermic pack-based
predators. So there's more than one entity within this SCP. It's a pack of SCPs that are just one SCP with many voices. Is that why it has that title, with many voices? Because there's more than one of them? That would be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. I didn't see that coming.
Predators. The skins of 939 are highly permeable to moisture and translucent red. 939 averagely are 2.2 meters tall when standing upright and weigh an average of 250 kilograms, though weight is highly variable. Each of their 4 limbs end in 3-fingered claws, with a 4th opposable digit, and are covered in seta, which considerably augment climbing ability. Their heads are elongated, devoid of even vestigial eyes or eye sockets, and contain no skull. The jaws of 939 are...
Well, that makes sense because the baby's head fell off. So if that's the case, these babies transform into with many voices. We shall see what makes them become this creature.
Lined with red, faintly luminescent fang-like teeth. Their teeth can grow up to 6 centimeters. Eye spots, sensitive to light and dark, run the length of their spine dorsal ridges. These spines may be up to 16 centimeters long and are believed to be sensitive to changes in air pressure and flow. 939's respiratory system is atrophied, but they can exhale minute traces of an aerosolized Class C amnestic, which designated as AMN C227. AMN C227 causes temporary anterograde amnesia, inhibiting memory formation for the duration of exposure, plus an average of 30 minutes. It is colorless, odorless, and tasteless. It has been reported that after being separated from the environment full of AMN C227, subject will have sensations of disorientation and mild hallucination. Subject is usually killed with a single bite to the cranium or neck. Bite forces...
No shit. Come on, if anyone get bit in the cranium, you ain't living. Especially if it's a mouth like this.
have been measured in excess of 35 MPa. 939's primary method of luring prey is the imitation of human speech in the voices of prior victims, though imitation of other species...
Yo! That's crazy. That's a crazy ability. So it can mimic the victims that he killed?
and active nocturnal hunts have been documented.
Wow,
They have been
that's dope.
documented imitating victims' voice despite never hearing the victim speak. SCP-939
Whoa.
vocalizations often imply significant distress. Whether 939 understand their vocalizations or are repeating previously heard phrases is the subject of ongoing study. Analysis of 939 vocalizations cannot distinguish between 939 and samples of known victims' voices. The use of biometric voice recognition security or identification systems at any installation housing 939 is strongly discouraged for this reason. A log of radio traffic between capture teams during their initial contact with 939 was transcribed and documented. In the initial contact between the capture team and 939, 3 subordinate fire teams, Trapper 1, 2, and 3, were sent out to the outskirts for an inspection following the disappearance of a Foundation field agent.
Okay.
After moments of inspecting the area, Trapper 1 reported to on-scene commander that they smelled something rotten, and they also found some shredded
Dead body?
clothing. While Trapper 1 was about to head back up, they heard someone calling for help. According to the transcript of radio traffic, it seems that 939 imitated the human voice and successfully lured Trapper 1. Unfortunately,
Bro.
Trapper 1 was annihilated. And finally, Trapper 2 and 3
Holy
had to
shit.
use large VX gas bombs to control 939. SCP-939 have no apparent physiological need to feed, nor any way to digest consumed tissue. Ingested material typically accumulates in the respiratory system of SCP-939 and is regurgitated once the amount is sufficient to markedly inhibit its function.
Yeah.
Despite the absence of many vital organ systems, SCP-939 are capable of bearing live young. According to the documents, one of the 939, named SCP-9391, gave birth to 6 specimens following a gestation period of roughly 12 months.
So that one of these babies were the one in the beginning that his head fell off. So I thought it was the baby from the jump and it was like turning red or whatever, but it was the other way around. It was the creature, but it started out as a baby. So they start out as babies. So that is interesting. So weird that they start out as babies.
Numbered SCP-939-A1 to SCP-939-A6.
Okay.
939-A1, A4, and A5 were male, while A3 and A6 were female. SCP-939-A2 was stillborn and immediately cannibalized by SCP-9391.
Damn.
When the Foundation personnel took its offspring away from it, it did not show any resistance. 4 of the newborns were dissected by the Foundation personnel and found no difference between these newborns and human infants.
Wow.
Only 939-A6 was kept for observation as it matured.
Messed up, they're
On
heartless.
September 1st, 2001, personnel found A6 began acting increasingly unsettled, rapid and shallow breathing, aversion to light, and increased in body temperature. A6 was then transferred into a reinforced concrete containment cell. 939-A6 immersed itself in the provided water basin. Minutes later, it was transferred and remained motionless for about 41 hours.
Wow,
At which point
41?
It began violently tearing at skin. It displayed a considerable amount of distress upon realizing its skin was sloughing off, but appeared unable to stop until its head
This
were
is
detached
making
from
me
its
itchy.
body.
Ah.
It appeared morphologically identical to, albeit much smaller than, SCP-9391. After the incident, SCP-939-A6 was renumbered as SCP-939-101 and then transferred to Bioresearch Area 12 for further study. SCP-939-101 is now dismembered, and it's stored in cryogenic preservation tanks. But these tissue fragments are still not dead, and sometimes they will ramble and plead for release.
Bro.
I hope you enjoyed today's video.
This was cool. This was cool. Wow. I didn't expect the mini voices to be something similar to that. I honestly thought like the spikes on his back maybe could like hear voices or something, and like it doesn't have ears, but that's its ears. Or like in the beginning it was like a pack of them. But it seems like it's just one, and they could imitate humans' voices without even hearing them from the beginning. So that's pretty dope. That's a dope ability. Yeah, this surprised me, and this is a really cool SCP, man. And it's so strange that they started out as babies, Weird, right? Like, maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's weird. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, that ends today's episode. If you guys enjoyed it, please remember to smash that like button, and also remember to smash the sub button if you're not part of the family already. And yeah, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this SCP. So with that all out the way, that concludes today's episode, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. With